Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Thankful Palette. My name is Tracy Herbner, and I am the artist and founder here at the Thankful Palette, and I am so glad that you're joining me tonight. So come on in and join me around my craft table. Tonight we are going to be painting, and I'm super excited because we're going to be painting one of my favorite flowers, which happens to be a sunflower. So when you join me, just say hello in the comments below so I know you're here. Hey Patty, can you hear me good? Is my sound good tonight? And if you're watching me on the replay, go ahead and let me know that as well. All right, so let's get started. Okay, awesome. Thanks, Patty. So tonight I'm using a 9 by 12 canvas board, and it is exactly that. It's a canvas panel. It's flat, and as you could see on here, I already put some rough tracings in there. So tonight we're going to need not a whole lot of colors. You're going to need an orange, a yellow, a gold if you have it, a brown, and a black. So we're going to start with the orange, and I'm using one that's called Orange Spice, but any color orange will do fine. And what we're going to do is wet our brush and go ahead, get started. And I'm going to go every other petal with orange. So I have a small one there. We'll leave that one yellow, and we'll start with this one. How's everybody's day going? It's a hot one out there today. And if you're painting with me or painting on the replay, let me know that as well. I love to know when you're following along. Oops, got a little orange in the middle. That's okay. Yes, Patty, it certainly was hot today. Very humid. I took the dogs out before and I'm like, whew, when you're in the air conditioner all day, you don't realize how hot it is out there. But I'll take hot and humid over cold and snowy any day of the week. Okay, and if you notice, I really like my flowers going off the side. For whatever reason, I don't know, I just tend to gravitate towards that type of flower. Okay, so that's good for the first layer of that petal. So we'll skip that one and we'll go into this one. What's your favorite flower? Roses. I like roses too. Of course, I would never refuse a dozen of roses. Sunflowers are one of my favorites. I love pansies. I like lilies of the valley. Me too, Patty. Flowers are one of my favorite. They're actually one of my favorite subjects to paint too, which is probably why we do a lot of them. Hey, Colleen, Mom, glad you're joining me. How you doing? Okay. Okay, and then what we're going to do is on this back side, I'm also going to paint it orange as well. Okay. All right, now without cleaning my brush, I'm going to go in with the yellow, and I am going to paint the other petals yellow first. So I think I'm going to go with, I pulled out a couple of different shades. I they want to go with the sunshine yellow, but again, any color yellow you have is fine. And these are going to be flowers that, again, we're building on, as you could see. And you could see by not cleaning our brush what that does to our paint. And that's okay. Okay. I think this is probably a painting that you might be okay free painting without a design, but I just thought I would start it with a couple of lines. Okay. And then just come in here and get these other sides. So don't be afraid to turn your work when you're painting. Okay. Okay. Now let's go ahead and we're going to start building color. Just going to grab a drink here. Awesome. All right, and we're going to start blending now. So now what I'm going to do is go ahead and take a bigger brush, and I'm just going to start working in my yellow on top of the orange. And by doing the base coats different, it's just going to give it a different feel. And again, I did not wet my brush. I'm using it dry. So the goal is to make them more yellow than orange, of course. And again, this is just going to be a step-by-step layering process. I'm not sure if you remember the other, the purple and blue flower that we did. It's sort of the same way. We're doing the same thing, essentially. We're building. So if you're just joining me, let me know. If this is your first time joining me, let me know that too. And don't forget, if you don't mind, and go ahead and sprinkle this video with your friends. That helps my page, and I so appreciate it very much. Okay. And again, we're just going over. And actually going to throw a little bit of bright yellow in there too. So if you have two different shades of yellow, you can use that as well. I hear the puppies coming up the steps. They're like, Mom, how come you're not letting me in the room? Okay. Kind of liking the variation so far. And if you could see, I'm leaving some of the stripes thicker. And don't worry if you're not perfect around the edges, because we're going to go back in for our background. Can't forget about this one out here. Okay, and now let's go back into the yellow and start adding All right. And again, we're just layering in. There's really no right or wrong. Just kind of seeing what I like and what looks good. So what do you think so far? Whoops. Sorry. As you could tell, the dogs heard something or somebody. Okay. And let's see. Just again, going in with the different colors, it just gives it the petals variation, which I think looks good. What do you guys think? You think it's looking good? Okay, so I'm going to just leave that go for a second, let that dry up a little bit. And while that's drying, to layer some more, we're going to go into our center. Now for our center, what we're going to do is we are going to, it just left me. I'm going to take some brown. And again, any color brown you have is fine. We're just going to fill in that inner circle. You could see that I got some paint in there and I wasn't too worried about it because, of course, we have our darker color going over it, so it's fine. And I'm going to get a new brush. Same size brush. Just make sure you wet your brush. And load your paint pretty good. And just go in there and start layering. And again, you kind of just, you remember that I made a perfect circle, but remember no flowers are actually perfect. So don't get all excited if you get some other colors in there. It's okay. If you go into the petals, it's perfectly fine. And we are probably going to have to layer this with a couple of layers, so that's good. We're just going to get it filled in for the first time. Okay. All right, so we got that going on. And we're going to have to go back in there, but let's leave that dry for a couple minutes. In fact, I'm actually going to take the blow dryer and blow it dry for a quick second, so just bear with me. Okay, so I want to add another layer of brown in there because I just want it a little bit darker. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then we're going to go back into the petals while that center is drying. And a lot of times when you're painting, it's about layering. You know, you're putting one layer on and then doing another layer. Okay, So we got that, and then I do want to go back in, and I think I think this is a little bit too orangey yet for me. So I'm just going to go back in with my 2 colors of yellow and lighten it up because I don't want it too orangey. And I'm using a flat brush. You could use a filbert brush for this. You could use a liner brush really if you really wanted to. But I always say use the brush that is you're most comfortable with. And I don't know why, but I really gravitate towards a flat brush. Just think you could do so much with them. If you're wondering what a filbert brush is, let me show you. I have one here somewhere. It looks like this. So if you could see it, it's round. I'll put it against the dark. It has a rounded tip on the brush. So that's what a filbert brush is. Okay, and I'm just coming in with a different shade of yellow. And if you see, when I'm doing these lines, I'm doing them with the contour of the petal. And that's what makes it looks more realistic. If you just painted like straight and not a little curved, it doesn't look realistic. So that's just a little tip for you guys. And again, if you're watching this on the replay, let me know in the comments by saying replay. What are you ladies thinking so far? I should say fellow crafters, because guys could paint too. I don't know, I'm just really starting to like the colors here. I don't know, what do you think? Do I need more yellow? Let me know. More yellow, or do you think the yellow's good? All right, so let's go ahead and grab our blow dryer again and just blow that center dry because we're going to have to add some more colors on there. All right, so now we're going to add a little black. And, whoops, almost lost the blow dryer. Okay. Oh, I just bought this black and I didn't realize it, but there was a tab thing on there. I guess that's good for shipping and stuff, but let me just move this out of the way so I don't get black paint on there. I usually don't buy these big containers. I usually buy the smaller ones like this, but you know, with the paint shortage these days, you can't be picky. So I bought this bigger one. Plus you use black a lot, so it's a good color to have. And you know, it wouldn't be the same if I didn't get paint on myself. All right. So now, adding a little bit of black paint to my palette. And let's go ahead and let's start building our center a little bit. So I am going to use a round brush. So a round brush looks like this. I'm going to go ahead and wet it. And I'm going to show you how to very carefully how to load your round brush. So your round brush, there's kind of a little bit of a trick to it. So you just want to go in, and if you could see, I'm twisting it. And this is a brush you want to load all the way up and just twist it and pull it. And what you're doing by doing that is getting a nice point on your round brush. So that's just another little trick for you guys. Oops, and I just got paint. If you guys could see what this table looks like, you would crack up. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start adding black, and I'm only adding black around the petals. So I'm like in the center of the thing, but only like not all the way in the center. If you could see, I'm just sort of like outlining it. Like so. Just like this. And if you don't have a round brush, again, a flat brush would work fine for this as well. But I'm using a round one. And how much you want to go in is up to you. We're going to put some dots in there, so I'm thinking that that's probably good. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back in with the brown, and I'm just kind of between the brown and the black, I'm just kind of, if you could see, I'm kind of smushing it all together. And what that's doing is making it look like the center. Plus, if you could see, I'm going in with the petals too. And because the black is wet, it's kind of mixing the paints all together. So that's making it smushed, for lack of a better word. And you kind of want that messy. You don't want it perfect because, of course, no flowers are perfect. Everything has an imperfection, so go with it. Okay. Okay. All right, how do you think? I think that looks pretty good. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go back in, and we are going to add some dots in our center. And for that, we're going to use, you could use a copper if you had a copper. I don't have a copper, so I'm going to go ahead and take a gold color and maybe mix it a little bit with the brown for this. And I'm also going to go in and put some gold in the petals as well. So, but what I'm going to do for this is I'm going to use the back of a brush and use this part of the brush. And I'm just going to go in here and I'm just going to pounce just like this all over. And all I'm doing is, if you could hear or see, is tapping down gold paint, and it's giving it that petal, like the inside of a flower. I'm not sure what that would be called. If anybody knows, they can let me know below in the comments what the technical terms is for. And you could put as many as you like or as little as you like. The other thing you could do is go in with some black too. To make it not as uniform. Even the brown. There's no right or wrong. Make it yours. And you're going to just dot this as many times as you want. So you could do a gazillion or as little as you want, but I think for now we're good. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into our petals and I'm going to add some gold. And my brush is still with the yellow. I'm not too worried about that. I'm just taking some of it off and it's getting mixed in and I'm good with that. And I'm just adding, and it's actually called Glorious Gold. So I think that this is just going to give the petals just that extra little What do you think of the gold so far? So if you're on here and you're not part of our free crafting painting group, go ahead to the Thankful Palette page and click to join. You do have to give your email, and don't worry, I don't really send a whole lot of emails. At most, it would be once a week, but at this point, I'm not there yet, so you're not even getting that many emails from me. But when you do that, I will send you a painting supply list. I'm going to put a little bit more gold on my palette while we're talking. And just a starter thing of, some common things that you would need. With just some basic information to make starting painting easier. And then if you are part of that email list, I'm actually working on a couple of tutorials. One of them being for a ribbon that if you're on my list, I'll be sending it to you in the next week or so. And I have some neat things coming up that, I'll share it with you that way as well. You could also go to thethankfulpalette.com and on there, put your email in there too, if you don't want to be part of the free group. So, all right. I think my flower is done. I think it looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start on the background. And I chose not to paint my background first because there's, as you could see, there's so little background left. I figured it would be fine just to go ahead and paint that in at the end. And I'm going to go with a black background. I was a little bit unsure, but I kind of like the way the darker, and anything that I see, I kind of like the way the darker background looks. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And for this, we'll use this size brush because that'll cover pretty good. So again, just wet your brush good. And I'm just using the black. And don't forget any little area that you have to fill in. And you could see I didn't outline my flowers this time. A lot of times I'll shade around the edges. And we didn't do that on this painting. We just kind of used the dry brushing and just filled in. So I'm just going to turn this a little bit. And if you could see, just using the edge of my brush to get a straight line there. And come in. And again, just turning. And just so you ladies know, I appreciate each and every one of you. I appreciate that you join me every time I'm live and that you comment and that you sprinkle. I can't say enough how much it means to me, so thank you very much. And I might have to go back in and do 2 layers of this black. Can't remember where I got these palette boards from. They were a pack of 6, I think. And I think I only have 2 left. And you'll know the more you paint that not all palettes or canvases are created equal. And some of them suck up the paint a little bit more than others. And I feel like this brand might be that kind, but that's okay. We'll make do. We just paint a little bit more. Plus, you know, when you can't get them, you use what you can. Okay. So what do you think about the black background so far? Are you liking that? I could hear the dog at the door like, Mom, let me in. Okay, we're almost there. Almost get to the big reveal at the end. Okay, I might have to add a little bit more, but I just want to show you this. Just got to be a little bit careful. So here you have our sunflower. And again, it's on a 9 by 12 canvas. So again, I appreciate each and every one of you watching. I'm so excited to paint with you and to craft with you every time I come live. I am working on some great projects for next week. The plan is to be live on Tuesdays and Wednesdays at 7:30 both nights. So go ahead and set your alarms, and you guys could keep watching my hair grow until my hair place opens back up and my little wings there. But we're all in the same boat, so that's okay. So anyway, that's the plan. But go ahead, watch my posts, and usually I post Sunday or Monday when I will be going live. But like I said, the plan is to stick to a Tuesday and a Wednesday night at 7:30. You could always watch on the replay too if you don't get to watch live. That's okay. So again, happy crafting. Until next time. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you.